Welcome back to 1986 as we continue our look at the Real Ghostbusters toy line by Kenner. Previously, we learned a bit about the origin of the line and checked out Peter Venkman and the Grabber Ghost. Now, we will continue with another figure from Series 1, but this time, we're taking a look at one of the ghost characters. Only two were produced in the first series, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the oddly named Green Ghost, who we all know as Slimer. And today, we'll be taking a look at the Green Ghost, aka Slimer, here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're checking out the Green Ghost from the 1986 toy line, The Real Ghostbusters by Kenner. The Green Ghost, or Slimer, is a focused, non-terminal, repeating phantasm, or a Class 5 full-roaming vapor. A real nasty one too. His first appearance is in the feature film Ghostbusters from 1984. In the film, he has taken up residence at, and now haunts, the Sedgwick Hotel. The disgusting little blob was very loosely based on John Belushi's character Bluto from Animal House. A nice touch considering he was originally cast to play Peter Venkman before he sadly passed away. During a spectacular scene in the hotel ballroom, Slimer is also the very first ghost Peter, Ray, and Egon bust. He escapes later when the ghost storage unit is shut down by Walter Peck of the EPA. Has a small cameo in Ghostbusters 2 as a bus driver, and goes on to haunt the firehouse in the Real Ghostbusters cartoon as their unofficial mascot. And now that we know a bit more about Slimer, let's go ahead and take a closer look. So, right off the bat, I want to point out that his face sculpt is dead on. Dead on. His eyes, teeth, everything look exactly like the cartoon, except for his tail here. I'm really not sure why this is there. Typically, when you think of Slimer, you'd think of him like this, just kind of shaped like a little potato. That's why they call him an ugly little spud. So really, everything behind this seam is completely unnecessary. But it doesn't hurt the figure. He still looks pretty much exactly like the cartoon. I mean, I don't know how they could have made him look much closer. Even his hands look pretty nice with some decent detailing here in the palm as well as on top. And really, that just leaves me with one minor complaint. Why is he so big? In the film and in the cartoon, Slimer's just a head, shoulders, arms, and maybe the upper chest. He's missing the whole lower 2/3 of his body. Look how big he is right here. He could probably eat Venkman if he wanted to. Slimer, don't do it now. Now, look out, Slimer. Oh, that is so disgusting. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Slimer's articulation. His arms have a joint that allow them to go up and all the way around full 360. But I really wish it was a ball joint, because then you could make his arms flex out and in, and he'd be way more expressive. His tail also has a point of articulation, so you can turn it down like this if you want and make it look like he's floating up out of a sewer grate. And that is it. That covers all 3 points of articulation for Slimer. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Slimer's included accessories like his pizza. This is a piece of rubber, so it's quite flexible. It's just plain on the bottom, and on top it looks like pepperoni, which is nice. But one cool thing about it is this bite pattern right here, because it's an almost perfect match for Slimer's teeth. See? I definitely think that is a really nice touch. Slimer occasionally makes healthy choices too, because he does come with this watermelon wedge, also flexible rubber and painted on both sides. Slimer's final accessory was a stake, which sadly I do not have, but here's what it looked like. Before we move on, I just want to talk about the fact that they didn't call the toy Slimer, they called it Green Ghost. That's hard for me to understand because the Real Ghostbusters cartoon, what the toy line is based off of, had been out for months at that point, and they'd referred to him as Slimer the entire time. To put it in perspective, it would be like if they had called the R2-D2 figure Astromech Droid. It just makes no sense. Slimer's copyright information is extremely difficult to see, but it is right by his tail. 1984, Columbia Pictures. And now for our He-Man size comparison. While He-Man doesn't deal with a lot of ghosts on Eternia, he definitely deals with slime, thanks to Hordak and his disgusting slime pit. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Green Ghost from the 1986 toy line, The Real Ghostbusters by Kenner. The Green Ghost is a mixed bag as a toy because, first of all, he should have been called Slimer. Second of all, he should have been scaled to the size of the figures. And thirdly, the tail, kind of weird. But you know what? I can forgive him because he looks so much like the cartoon. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it and would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday. So hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.